Hello and welcome to the program. We're live in a snowy nation's capital of Washington, D.C. with the latest. And over the next few minutes, we'll take you from the United States and around the world, covering all the top stories of the day. But before that, here's a look at the latest headlines. Ukraine launches a surprise offensive in Russia's Kursk region in a bid to regain the upper hand on the battlefield. Ukrainian forces first entered the region last August, seizing territory. North Korea fires a medium-range ballistic missile as Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrives in South Korea on an official visit. Blinken condemns the missile test and raises concerns about Pyongyang's growing closeness with Moscow. President Joe Biden will reportedly meet Venezuela's exiled opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez in Washington today. The meeting comes days after Venezuela's contested leader Nicolas Maduro announced a $100,000 bounty for his rival's capture. A major winter storm sweeps across the United States, stirring dangerous travel conditions from central and southern states to the East Coast. Around a dozen states remain under a winter storm warning, with more than 60 million people under some sort of weather alert. And the outbreak of the human metapneumovirus, or HMPV, in China raises health concerns globally 5 years after the COVID-19 pandemic. Countries including India and Malaysia report cases of the virus that causes respiratory infection with flu-like symptoms. And here in the United States, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni paid a surprise visit to incoming President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. The two leaders had dinner as Meloni sought to strengthen ties with the United States under the incoming Trump administration. Donald Trump and Giorgia Meloni were also joined by the president-elect's cabinet picks, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. The president-elect told a crowd at Mar-a-Lago that Giorgia Meloni is a fantastic woman who has taken Europe by storm.
This is very exciting. I'm here with a fantastic woman, the Prime Minister of Italy. She has really taken Europe by storm, and everyone else, and we're just having dinner tonight.
Meloni shared a picture of herself next to Donald Trump on social media, thanking him for his hospitality. Meloni's unofficial meeting with Donald Trump comes days before she is due to host outgoing President Joe Biden in Rome and what would be the last trip of his presidency. Now, no details have been given about what the two leaders actually discussed ahead of the Trump inauguration. However, a possible topic on the agenda could be the detention of Cecilia Sala, an Italian journalist detained in solitary confinement in Iran since December of last year for breaching Islamic law. Salah's arrest came days after Italy arrested an Iranian engineer wanted in the United States for allegedly exporting technology used to kill 3 American soldiers in Jordan a year ago. Other issues that Donald Trump and Giorgia Meloni reportedly discussed were the war in Ukraine, gas supplies, and possible U.S. tariffs on goods from European nations. Now, this is the second time the Italian leader met Trump after his victory in the 2024 presidential election. The first time they met was at the reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris in early December of last year. The Italian leader also met one of Donald Trump's strongest allies, Elon Musk, at that time, sparking rumors about their relations. However, both Elon Musk and Giorgia Meloni have denied a romantic relationship.
I can be a friend of Elon Musk and at the same time the head of the first Italian government that made a new law to regulate private activity in space.
Italy is now in talks with Elon Musk's SpaceX for a $1.5 billion deal for a telecom services security contract. Notably, Giorgia Meloni was an avid admirer of Donald Trump during his first term as well, when she was still an opposition leader at home. And now, with European powerhouses like France and Germany grappling with rocky politics and Meloni's close ties with Elon Musk, her stability could make her Donald Trump's go-to ally in Europe. Elon Musk has plunged into British politics, igniting a storm of controversy for his scathing criticisms of Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Labour government. Musk has accused Starmer of failing to address the sexual violence carried out by Pakistani grooming gangs during his tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions. And once an admirer of the far-right Reform Party, Musk has now questioned the party's leader, Nigel Farage, and his ability to lead the opposition. Our next report brings you more on Elon Musk's growing political influence and its implications in the UK.
Elon Musk, the world's richest man, has ignited a political controversy in the United Kingdom. His sharp criticisms of Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Labour government have reopened sensitive debates about child grooming gangs. Musk's accusations have drawn strong reactions across the political spectrum, leaving the nation divided. It all started on New Year's Day when Musk targeted Starmer for alleged failures as Director of Public Prosecutions. He accused Starmer of failing to prosecute grooming gangs effectively, allowing vulnerable young girls to suffer. But Musk didn't stop there. He also criticized the safeguarding minister Jess Phillips, labeling her a rape genocide apologist and calling her out for rejecting calls for a public inquiry into grooming scandals in Oldham. Musk accused Phillips of shielding Starmer for political gain, calling it a cover-up. He demanded a national public inquiry and called for an immediate general election. In an inflammatory post, he went so far as to label the British Prime Minister a national embarrassment. The Labour government quickly pushed back. Health Secretary Wes Streeting dismissed Musk's claims as misjudged and misinformed.
Some of the criticisms Elon Musk has made, I think, are misjudged and certainly misinformed. But we're willing to work with Elon Musk, who I think has got a big role to play with his social media platform to help us and other countries tackle these serious issues. If he wants to work with us and roll his sleeves up, we'd welcome that.
Yet Musk's remarks have revived public anger over Pakistani grooming gangs. In the UK, these groups have sexually exploited vulnerable children, mostly thousands of young women. These gangs typically established a relationship with their victims, often using manipulation, gifts or threats to gain their trust before subjecting them to sexual exploitation. Netizens claimed these scandals revealed systemic failures by local authorities and law enforcement, and many officials allegedly ignored the abuse out of fear of being labelled racist or Islamophobic. While a 2022 inquiry found safeguarding failures in Oldham, it didn't uncover evidence of organised exploitation. Far-right figures like Tommy Robinson have long exploited these issues, using them to fuel anti-immigrant sentiment. And Musk's alignment with such figures has further stoked controversy. However, the Tesla CEO defended Robinson, who is currently in prison for contempt of court, questioning his solitary confinement. Musk claimed Robinson was punished for telling the truth about grooming gangs. But this isn't Musk's only foray into UK politics. The billionaire had previously expressed support for Nigel Farage's Reform UK party, which challenges Labour and Conservatives. However, on Sunday, Musk abruptly withdrew his support for Farage. He declared that Farage doesn't have what it takes to lead the party, suggesting that the Reform Party needs new leadership. Farage responded with disappointment, calling Musk a remarkable individual, but firmly rejecting his views on Robinson. Farage insisted he wouldn't align with the divisive activist, saying, "I never sell out my principles." The rift comes amid reports that Musk had considered a significant financial donation to Reform. Billionaire Elon Musk's unpredictability has left British politics in turmoil. While his comments against Starmer have reinvigorated scrutiny of past failures, his feud with Farage could weaken Reform's influence. As Musk continues to insert himself into Britain's politics, one question remains: is he a disruptor or a destabilizer?
And now to the Middle East, where Iran's foreign minister has issued a stark warning to Israel, vowing to retaliate against any future attacks and cautioning that Israeli aggression could spark a wider regional conflict. The Iranian minister added that Tehran remains committed to a diplomatic approach and will consult with allies, including China. However, his remarks come amid heightened fears of escalation as Israel grapples with recurring missile attacks by Yemen's Houthis, who are widely believed to be funded and armed by Iran.
Prepared for the possibility of further Israeli attacks. I hope Israel will avoid such reckless actions, as they could escalate into a large-scale war.
The backdrop to these warnings includes a year of unprecedented attacks between Iran and Israel. In fact, last year on October 1, Iran launched 200 ballistic missiles at Israel, most of which were intercepted by Israeli defenses. And in retaliation, Israeli warplanes struck Iranian military sites on October 26. Meanwhile, amid this heated atmosphere, a chilling video released by Hamas has spotlighted the human toll of the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The video features a 19-year-old Israeli soldier who was abducted during the Palestinian group's deadly assault on October 7th of 2023. In the clip, the hostage pleads for her release, saying she's only 19 years old and now her entire life has been upended.
כל החיים שלי לפניי, כל החיים שלי נעצרו. היום התחילה שנה חדשה. כל העולם חוגג את הסילבסטר. ורק אנחנו מתחילים פה שנה חשוכה, שנה של בדידות. אנחנו לא בסדר העדיפויות של הממשלה שלנו, של הצבא שלנו. כבר העולם התחיל לשכוח אותנו. כבר לעולם לא אכפת מאיתנו.
The Israeli hostage's family, devastated by her visible psychological distress, issued a public plea to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to take decisive action.
This isn't the Leary we know. Today we spoke with the Prime Minister, President, IDF Chief of Staff, and Defense Minister, and we told them to make a deal. This is the time. There's Leary and 99 other hostages who need to return home quickly.
We demanded from the Prime Minister and Defence Minister that the negotiating team must not return without an agreement. We understood from their words that they are willing to make a deal and bring all the hostages home.
Now, Hamas has claimed to have offered Israel a list of 34 hostages it would release in the initial phase of a potential ceasefire deal. However, the Israeli Prime Minister's office has denied receiving such a list, fueling frustration. Mediated by Qatar, Egypt, and the United States, negotiations for a truce have dragged on without resolution. And now, even though Prime Minister Netanyahu has authorized Israeli negotiators to rejoin talks, critics accuse him of stalling under mounting domestic pressure.
Donald Trump, Mr. President, sir, do not agree to a partial hostage deal. That is a confirmed death sentence to those left behind, and it will ensure the war drags on aimlessly and endlessly. Please, Mr. President, do not agree to this partial deal, which will allow the most extreme factions in Netanyahu's government to erect settlements in the Gaza Strip above and over the living corpses of our loved ones, tortured in airless Hamas tunnels deep underground. You, sir, are the only one capable of pressuring Netanyahu to end the war and securing comprehensive hostage deal to release all 100 hostages.
Now, as indirect talks reportedly resume in Qatar, the region waits in a fragile balance. Will diplomacy bring relief to hostages and their families, or will another spark push the Middle East towards unthinkable chaos? And today we end with Meghan Markle's new Netflix series. The show, titled With Love, Meghan, is already stirring the pot, and not the way she might have hoped. The 8-episode show, set in a lavish estate in California, includes lifestyle tips on cooking, gardening, and crafting, delivered with Meghan's signature charm. However, critics have labeled it tone-deaf and laughable, accusing the former Duchess of promoting an unattainable fantasy under the guise of relatability. From harvesting honey to walking through manicured avocado groves, the trailer has sparked both mockery and debate. With Love, Meghan is shaping up to be this year's most polarizing Netflix series, even before it's released. Here's the latest.
Brace yourselves, peasants. Meghan Markle is gracing us with her own Netflix show titled With Love, Meghan. Set to drop January 15, the series promises to revolutionize lifestyle by teaching us mere mortals how to cook, garden, craft, and presumably survive in palatial mansions. Filmed in Montecito, California, but not at her own $11 million estate, the 8-episode series showcases the Duchess of Sussex doing what she does best, being Meghan. Netflix claims this is playfulness over perfection, but the internet has been anything but playful. Critics have already branded the show as tone-deaf, tasteless, and entitled. But why? Perhaps because watching a duchess-turned-lifestyle guru prance around avocado groves feels less like aspirational TV and more like a parody of privilege. In the trailer, Meghan, decked out in linen frocks that probably cost more than your rent, harvests honey, arranges flowers, and makes yummy noises after tasting her own dishes. There's even a blink and you'll miss it cameo from Prince Harry, because what's a Meghan Markle production without reminding us who she married? Despite branding the show as an at-home experience, Meghan opted to film at a nearby $5 million estate owned by the Cipolla family. It is complete with avocado trees, lemon groves, and French doors that scream money. Apparently, her own $11 million mansion wasn't intimate enough, because nothing says relatable like filming at a second mansion. The backlash has been swift. Blogger Meghan McCain, the daughter of late Navy veteran turned politician John McCain, has not minced her words and called the Netflix series utterly tone-deaf. She slammed it as a curated fantasy that misses the mark for audiences craving authenticity. Others have compared it to a horror movie, with Meghan's Stepford Wives aesthetic sending shivers down their spines. Dr. Tessa Dunlop, a royal historian, joked that Meghan Markle's perfect world is all too easy to mock, from her designer beehives to her sun-dappled kitchen garden. Even Meghan's authentic rebranding as a trade wife, complete with 1950s housewife vibes, has divided public opinion. Some see it as a return to her pre-royal lifestyle blogging roots, while others think it's a calculated PR move designed to distance her from her former royal drama. The criticism levels peaked when Meghan had to turn off the comments on her new yet disabled Instagram account after posting the trailer. Now, the million-dollar question is whether With Love Meghan will resonate with audiences. Sure, she's got Mindy Kaling and Roy Choi dropping by for some candid chit-chat, but is that really enough to salvage a show already labelled out of touch? As Meghan sashays through her immaculately curated life, offering tips on how easy it can be to create beauty, one can't help but wonder, is this show for us or for her? Because if With Love Meghan teaches us anything, it's that the former royal's world might be too picture perfect for the rest of us to handle.
That's our show for today. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. We certainly look forward to having you back here again tomorrow. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Donald Trump's return to the Oval Office is imminent. He will soon take the oath of office and once again lead the nation.
God spared my life for a reason.
President-elect Donald Trump's first priority: tackling illegal immigration and securing the nation's borders.
We're going to fix our borders.
The incoming administration has prioritized the Russia-Ukraine war. Can they succeed in ending one of the world's most challenging conflicts?
I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled.
And as he returns to the White House, will Donald Trump resume a bruising trade war with the world's second largest economy, China?
If China or some other country is behaving badly, we have things called tariffs.
All of this and more right here on Firstpost America.